Patch Notes episode 2. How are you doing today, Dave?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. Just got off the normal podcast. You know how it is.
Yeah, we just got done speaking with Waylon, great guy. I think it went well. If you're listening to this and maybe you're thinking about trying out our other show, highly recommend it. Apologies for the delay in this patch notes coming out. We had some life events happen. We got kind of busy. I've been kind of dealing with a little bit of a sickness.
There was a minor setback for a major comeback.
Yes, absolutely. And that is because off the front, we want to address a video that we made about our creators. Would you like to intro it with giving some background for folks on the video that we put out?
Okay, so I don't know how long it was. Like 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
Let me check. I got it right here. It was put out November 5th, so a week ago.
So a week ago. A week ago, or maybe going on 2 weeks, because we did pre-record that. We had a deplorable take on arc raiders.
Yes.
We have had the most hate comments we have ever got on any of our channels, all because of our take, all because of our fucking take on arc raiders. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad that we did get those comments, because if it wasn't for you guys absolutely fucking dogging on us, we wouldn't have tried the full game. Shout out to the dude that was like, I'm gonna sub and wait for a fucking apology video. You're a homie. You kind of pushed us to be like, maybe we should retry this shit again. You a homie. I don't know about you, Adrian, but my view on arc raiders has completely changed.
Yeah.
I do have a few minor gripes with it still.
Yeah, but I mean, not every game is going to be perfect, so.
I do still have minor gripes, but my entire view on arc raiders has completely changed, and I am absolutely loving it, bro. I feel like it's good. It's not great, but it's still really good, and one of the best probably extraction shooters that I've played in a long time, and I've played a lot. I still think Hunt Showdown in Tarkov is a little bit better than Arc Raiders, but Arc Raiders by itself no nothing to compare it to. I fuck with it heavy, bro. I fucks with it heavy.
Is there anything specific that sticks out to you as something that maybe you weren't fully appreciating from the server slam, or maybe a thing that you're would this be different in the full game that was different and you enjoyed a little bit more?
So in the server slam, there was only that one map, Dam or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dam is kind of an L map. It's good. It's not great.
Yeah, the base map doesn't really blow me away too much. Don't get me wrong. Obviously the game it's got stunning visuals. It looks really nice. There's just something about the theme of the map. It's just not my favorite.
But we have put an additional probably 10 hours into it. The one other map we have played, I think it's called Sunken City, Shattered City, or something like that. Buried City. There we go. By far my favorite map so far. I love the verticality. Nice. I love the verticality of it. I like that you can sit in a building, nobody can really fucking peep you while they're outside, and you can just fucking snipe they shit. There's been, I think, a few times on that map where we've just been trying to find somebody to PvP. We run on top of a roof, and there's just a dude ratting across. My fault. across like the little like I wouldn't call it a hallway. What the fuck am I thinking of?
Like across the street, across the.
Yeah, yeah, across the road type shit. Where like we couldn't be able to see him, and he was just ratting, looking at us, peeping, creeping, stalking, watching, and we're oblivious until he damn near kills Adrian over here, bro.
Bro, I was getting melted by this fucking guy.
I love that map with a passion, and not only that map, um, the dynamic weather, bro. Like the little like firestorms, the little sandstorms, and the like EMP storms, especially, is kind of cool. I can't lie, I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah, the different weather is really nice. I'm a big rain thunderstorm in a video game person. I just love that as an ambient theme going on in the background. I wanted to. I know we're kind of obviously you just gave your kind of updated take on the game. I wanted to take a second to talk about the comments that were left on the video. To anyone that left some constructive feedback for us, I just wanted to say I appreciate it. I had a pretty constructive kind of back and forth with Marcus Gomez in our comment section. There was a couple other people that probably went about addressing our take a little bit more on the polite side than some other people. So I just wanted to say we appreciate you guys. There were a lot of people. I'm looking at Tiger Smith GU right here saying engagement farming channel for sure. I just want to say this. I get that there's a lot of channels out there. It's kind of a big trend for engagement of rage baiting, engagement farming, and having bad takes for the sake of just riling people up. I'm going to be honest with you, like, and it's completely at my own expense. That just was my take. Like, I get it was a bad take. I acknowledge that. I'm grateful the same way Dave is grateful that, people feel that they can tell us that our takes are bad, because I don't want to ever live in a bubble where I feel like I'm right about everything. I like, people calling me out and telling me that I'm wrong about something, because it allows me, like me and Dave did, to go back and play this game that we weren't going to play again. And it's kind of, allowed us to, have our perspectives and our feelings on it be shifted. But for people who were saying we were rage baiting or engagement farming, like, it doesn't make us sound any better because our take was bad. But that just was our take. That rage baiting and content farming isn't something that's the patch notes hour of gaming news discussion is here for. This is just kind of a place for us to get our takes out there, just talk about things that are going on. And some people were a little bit critical of our feedback being shallow and not super in-depth. And I'll be honest with you, that was never the intention with this hour. I do understand that perhaps, us not wanting to necessarily have that in there is to the detriment of the show itself. I think more than likely it would work better if we did have a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown. So that's something that we're going to take into consideration going forward, is preparing a little bit more ahead of time, because this show is very much done the same way we do our main podcast, which is Dave doesn't know what I have done in preparation for the show throughout the week. I produce all the shows, I get all the content together, I get the articles together, and then I kind of just drop it on him when we bounce off back and forth, and on the spot.
Basically here just for moral support.
Yeah, basically here for moral support. But we're kind of just going off the dome, so to speak. We're giving our take just in the moment, immediate reaction to things. Which also, like I will just level with you guys. Again, I don't mean to come off like I'm making excuses or anything. But like respectfully, in the most respectful way possible, I have a full-time job. Dave is doing some college classes. We don't necessarily have the time to, put 40 hours into a game before we talk about it. Obviously, we wish we had that time. But with our own personal channels, the main podcast, and other things we do, our time is kind of split into a lot of different things. So, regrettably, I think that our take on Arc Raiders was, in part because of our own situation with just the time we have. But don't get me wrong, a big part of it on my end, I won't speak for Dave, he can get into that himself, but for me, I didn't even go into trying Arc Raiders with a positive mindset about the game. I went into it already thinking I wasn't going to enjoy it, which on my part is a failure for me. If I'm going to talk about something, I should be going into it objectively and without bias. So this last time when we went into it, I tried to go into it with a little bit more of a positive mindset, looking for things that I like rather than, already going into it with a negative opinion about the game, just looking for things that are kind of going to reinforce that. But again, like, because of the format of the way we've been doing the show, I feel like that kind of created some things that people weren't so happy about. Let me see if I can find a specific example here. X Richie X commented on our video and said, I get not liking the game, but you didn't do a very good job of explaining why you didn't like the game or why it's not interesting. You didn't explain shooting mechanics, the game's themes, or anything of the sort. You give very vague surface level descriptors that aren't very engaging for the listener. You're doing everything you're accusing the article of doing, and it comes off very disingenuous. And he's referring to an article I brought up in the video. I'm just kind of nitpicking. And again, I think the reason that I brought up that article was because I was going into it with a negative mindset in the beginning. But like a comment like this, like from Richie, I find it, very constructive, and I appreciate it. But like, like I was saying, everyone that commented, we appreciate the feedback. It allowed us to take a second look at the game. I too have a more positive opinion on the game. Although I want to front load this with, I won't say I don't like the game. I think this game is not for me. I think the things that I play extraction shooters for, I get what I'm looking for more in a game like Escape from Tarkov. Now, this doesn't take away from the experience that Arc Raiders brings. I will play more of it. I want to try to play a little bit on each map, get up through more of the skill tree and test some things out. And maybe my enjoyment level of the game will increase by doing that. But like Dave was saying, exploring some of the different maps has been probably the most positive part of our experience thus far. Getting a chance to experience some of these different places. That first map was just getting very old. I think comparatively to Buried, it feels a lot more basic. And I think one of the things that Dave said that Buried did well was the verticality, because I'm someone that in the games that I'm more of a fan of, say like a Call of Duty, and granted, they're two different games, maybe by two different developers. I'm not so much a fan of verticality in the majority of the games that I like. I think that on Buried, Embarked did a very good job with verticality. It feels very natural when you're on the roof going from building to building. There's some elements that kind of remind me of Uncharted or Assassin's Creed with some of the movement, kind of the parkour mechanics that you can get in there. Um, and I think it adds, I don't know if more depth to the gameplay. It is the right word for, we're recording this at like 8:50 right now. We just did another show, so I'm a little bit fried, but um, that made the experience really nice on that map, especially, you know, in the skill tree, putting some points into parkour speed, mantle speed, whatever you want to call it. And definitely made the movement there feel very fluid. We haven't experienced too much of going after the AI. We did take out one of those fucking like small spider things. Remember what they were called?
Leapers.
Leapers. We did take out our first leaper. Granted, we did kind of cheese the leaper a little bit.
We cheesed the fuck out of it.
Yeah, we did cheese the fuck out of the leaper. But you know, I do appreciate the work they've put into the AI. You can tell that it's different from other games. The fact that you can upgrade the, you know, excuse me for talking about it in Tarkov terms, but the fact that you can upgrade your hideout and like your crafting benches, I really like the rarity system for the weapons is a little bit too much on the Fortnite side for me. I'm more of a, I like all the guns to be the same strength no matter what, and have there be attachments or ammos that are the difference maker in performance and killing capability. Which again is the reason why I think I enjoy a game more like Tarkov than Arc Raiders. And one of the things I wanted to address that I said was that I feel like the game doesn't do any one thing better than other games that it shares those like mechanics with. I had said that I think if you really like fighting the AI, you should play Helldivers, and I think if you're there for the PvP survival, you should be more in a Tarkov game. I think I undervalued Arc Raiders packaging these things together. I think I was looking for more things to nitpick, and I didn't necessarily put the correct value on what a game is offering by bringing all of these features together in one package. Whereas, obviously, you know, with my comparisons, there's things in Helldivers you can't do in Tarkov and vice versa, and this game kind of brings all of it together. So for that, I'll give, you know, major credit to the game. It does bring a unique experience in that way. I do kind of have some gripes with some of the talk in the community. I won't say the community itself, but some of the talk of people being upset about being incited or betrayed, people not being happy with the shooting on site. I do get that. I guess the game was initially teased as a PvE only game. My bad. I'm gonna drink some water. My mouth is dry as fuck.
While you're doing that, I only have a few nitpicks with it. The desync is a really big one. Desync, whenever like I'm trying to like jiggle peek somebody around a corner, like I'll just get fucking sprayed even though I'm basically already around a corner. That's a big issue for me, but that's also because it's a new game. They don't really, I don't know if they have the facilities to get it right, just because there is just so many players just constantly coming into raids.
Yeah.
That's basically my main one. The other one is I'm not the biggest fan of like the gunplay. It definitely feels a little stiff, especially whenever you're using like bigger weapons. But I guess that's because bigger weapons are slower.
Yeah.
A lot of the gunplay just feels kind of stiff. But once you get used to it's not like the biggest thing. And I think my last one is the terrain just being like really slippery. Like you'll go up like an elevation of like 4 degrees and it will just slide you all the way back down the hill. It's very slip and slidey.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just like the stuff that like I'm trying to fucking climb that like I would like be able to climb in like any other game, but like maybe that's just something on my end that I'm just fucking up.
Yeah. Do you remember where I left off? I can't even remember.
I don't fucking remember. I'm cooked.
Let me think. Oh, some of what the community's been saying. When it comes
Yeah.
to KOS and inciting and getting betrayed by people, I don't want to put it harshly, because when I was talking to Dave about it before, I was putting it more harshly just because, that's just, to a certain extent, the way me and Dave were talking in the last video is just, the way we talk about everything. We are kind of shooting the shit on this podcast. I would encourage people to play into that kind of interaction more. I think if you're coming in, because I've seen this a lot, if you're coming in and this is your first extraction shooter, know that this stuff is pervasive across the entire genre. When you play a game like this, you are going to have those kinds of interactions. There are going to be people, admittedly, like me, who will shoot on sight. I'm there to shoot my gun and get loot and get out. That is my priority. I'm not necessarily going to see someone and my first thought be, let me talk to them and see if they're friendly. I might do that every now and then to change the pace of my gameplay.
We also play a lot of DayZ, so in DayZ it's usually KOS.
Yeah. But even in that game, you can team up with people and be betrayed later on down the line, and it shares a lot of the same aspects.
Yeah, it's not really something that we expect people to do, just like be friendly.
Yeah, you should if you see someone, you should expect them to be wanting to kill you and take your loot.
Yeah.
But I also get that if you're new to the genre and you're unfamiliar with content creators in that genre, how it could be surprising or disappointing, where maybe, I can imagine a very kind-hearted gamer out there that would never try to like screw anyone over in a game and is just there to genuinely like meet people and have fun. I could get how it could be kind of abrasive to deal with that. I can get how it might kind of steer you away from the game. I wouldn't genuinely encourage people. I mean, I don't know like how to make it sound good, but I would encourage people to try to have fun in screwing over other people too, occasionally. Sometimes it is fun to kind of hoodwink someone in a game. Like you're in DayZ, you guys are going somewhere, you all get looted up, and then, you're in the Discord call with your boys, like, is this where we do it? Is this where we fucking send the lamb out to slaughter? Or fucking, what is it? Fucking, not old Bessie, Lassie, right? Just Lassie the fucking guy?
No. That was
What's
Old Yeller, brother.
Old Yeller. You got an Old Yeller the guy, because we've definitely done that on DayZ, and, I have also had that happen to me on DayZ. I think it's just the dynamics of the human interaction. Like, I get how fun it can be based on, we haven't taken down the big AI, so don't think I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from videos I've seen. I have seen videos. I've seen how fun it can be for people to take down the really big AI in the game and to be cooperative and to work with other people. But the reality of it is not everyone's going to want to do that. And I think you just have to go about the game prepared for that. And like I said, maybe every now and then try it out for size. If every interaction is positive and working together, I think that could get old after a while. I think you kind of have to spice it up with, being the villain in situations. We were just talking to Waylon a little bit on the main podcast about how much getting immersed and kind of, role playing a little bit in gaming can add to your experience. And, go into a session where you guys are like, we're going to try to fucking like kidnap a player and fucking like, whatever. We're going to try to stick someone up and rob them or, this, that, and the third. I would encourage people just, based on, again, my opinion, how I enjoy things, try to not get stuck in the same loop over and over again. Because that's what I fear will be the downfall of a game like Arc Raiders and to a greater extent, kind of all extraction shooters. If you're just getting stuck in the loop of gearing up, going in, getting out, gearing up, going in, dying, it can get bored. I get bored playing extraction shooters a lot too. I get bored playing DayZ sometimes. And for me, it's when you get stuck in that loop. And I think if this is a game that you're loving and you don't want to get old, that will only take you so far. And I would encourage you to try to, have other kind of fun with it and not just the kind of fun you're used to. And I think you'd get more enjoyment out of the game over a longer period of time. But I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
On just trying to mix up how you play.
Yeah, like do you find if you're just like going in and doing the same thing, same kit each time, same goal, that you get bored after a certain time?
Yeah. Especially in a game like Arc Raiders or like even Tarkov, whenever you're just in the mindset of just going in to like ruin somebody's day, it can get very boring very quick.
Yeah.
Because either you're gonna just steamroll like the players, you're just gonna fuck everybody up and just get all the loot, or you're gonna die in your like first or second like PvP encounter and it's gonna be like, damn, bro, like might as well do it again. It gets very repetitive and very boring. So if you like mix it up a little bit, say you're like me and Adrian over here, like we mainly PvP on Arc Raiders because I don't fucking trust nobody. I ain't trying to fucking press Z on my goddamn keyboard on accident and be like hit hard like I did the other night, because why is it fucking Z on the goddamn keyboard?
Yeah, bro was VoIPing callouts.
I got fucking fat sausage fingers, big dog. Why is it Z? And so like if like we weren't always PvPing, we maybe the game would be just a little bit more enjoyable for Adrian, but I like it where it's at for me. I'm really loving it. But maybe if we VoIP before we see somebody or as we see somebody and be like, hey, you want to team up, you want to do this, that, and the third, maybe we can have like memorable experiences, because there's a lot of times where like me and Adrian will be playing DayZ, some dude will come up to me and he was like, yo, what's Bracken, are you friendly? And I'll be like, hell yeah, big dog, what's Bracken, want to go to these gunshots we heard like 2 kilometers away, and we'll just be boys for the entire run over until one of us inevitably dies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something like we can like get up on Arc Raiders, where we're just friendly, we just drop people shit or something, just have fun with it instead of just always just PvPing and like a lot of people do on trios. A lot of people PvP on trios.
And on the flip side of it, obviously, I don't want to continue to talk in a circle, but um, have a session where you and your boys are like, we're gonna be bandits and we're gonna sit in high loot zones and we're gonna rob people, and role play that out. I think in a game like DayZ, you know, with modded servers, it leaves you open to, you get on the server and like, okay, we're gonna be drug dealers, we're gonna, grow drugs, sell them at the black market, or we're gonna be gun runners, or we're gonna be, whatever. I think if you're going to play a game that's designed, like Embark is saying, this is going to be a 10-year game. If you like this game and right now you're like, if this is going to be a 10-year game and I want to play it for all 10 years, you're going to have to change your approach at a certain point, because like we were saying, games like Tarkov, games like DayZ that we have to change our approach with every now and then to continue to enjoy it. Because that's just life, things get stale. And I think that's where, originally my kind of opinion that the game would not last that long was coming from. It's an oversaturated genre for sure. And forgive me for not remembering the name of the video I was looking at. I've seen people try to, fight back at the oversaturated kind of buzzword, saying just because a genre is oversaturated doesn't mean certain games don't deserve to exist. And I don't think that's necessarily the way oversaturated should be used in gaming. I think the way it should be used is more talking about there's more competition in that genre. There's so many different experiences to be had that if you put forward a game and for whatever reason at any point in time the experience becomes lackluster, it becomes old, it becomes, bored, it's such an oversaturated genre that it's easier to have people go and say, you know what, let me try this game. Let me try this game. And I think it's a lot easier to lose people that way. And that's kind of where I was, concerned for the game, that maybe it might not last that long. Because, if you have these PvP demons that are going around just trying to take people's heads off, maybe they want to go to a game like Tarkov. If you have these cooperative people, maybe they want to go to a game like DayZ or Helldivers, with DayZ having PvE servers that you can get on and just like roleplay with people and do your thing. I think it definitely runs the risk of doing that, but we're going to continue to update people on Arc Raiders and, talk about our experience more. I wish we were able to talk more in depth about it today, but with, the way the week's been kind of shaping out, I like I said, I've been sick. Dave's been going to school. We just haven't been able to put the hours we wanted to get in by this point. Or like by the next time we talked about it, I wanted to have like 20 hours in the game at least. And I haven't been able to do that. So I apologize about that. At some point we'll try to have a more detailed breakdown of the game. Discussing more about the features and stuff. But like I said, unfortunately, that's not today. It'll come at a different point in a different episode. Once we can get that time in the game. Because I don't really want to speak about it too much without putting the time in. After the way this last time went, we didn't, do our due diligence as as creators, talking about the game and putting forth our opinion, and also I guess just as gamers not really giving the game a chance. Who doesn't want different experiences and more options to play with people. But with talking about the genre being oversaturated, Dave, if I were to tell you that there was going to be an extraction shooter coming out next year, what would you want it to be like?
I don't know, probably like Hunt Showdown more than anything. I feel like Hunt Showdown is by far like my favorite extraction shooter. but Tarkov's probably like a close second.
Okay. Um,
I just like being a cowboy.
how would you feel if I told you that this extraction shooter was based off an existing IP?
What is it?
The developers of PUBG have announced that they are going to be launching an extraction shooter spin-off next year.
That's gonna be so ass.
I mean, this is likely going to be
feel
the
like,
dominant extraction shooter for the Asian market because I believe PUBG has a big like Chinese player base.
yeah, and I feel like if they do anything like they have done, like PUBG, it's just gonna be cheater central. But
Yeah.
honestly, I don't want to judge it too hard because I see what judging a game too hard fucking has done to us.
Yeah. I will prejudge it a little bit harshly. I'm curious.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be all that. I think they need to stick to PUBG and fixing the cheating problem.
Yeah, realistically, that's what they should do. But this is where my head's at because I like the way PUBG feels. Is it a little bit stiff? Does it feel a little bit old? Yes, but I feel like that's kind of the charm of the game. I like that it's not super fluid. It has a little bit of stiffness to it, sort of, like H1, which obviously I don't know which game came first, who was copying who, but
I actually think H1Z1 came first, but I can
okay.
Google it for you real quick.
Okay. But I'd be curious how different this is going to be than PUBG. Like, is this just going to be PUBG where we pick up the loot and instead of it being last man standing, we go to an extract and then all of a sudden we have this mutant in our stash.
H1Z1 was released first.
Okay. Because oddly enough, dude, I would almost prefer, or not prefer, I would almost like the idea of it being exactly like PUBG, just with extraction shooter mechanics added in and like a stash and everything. I would almost prefer it to be that, basically copy and paste PUBG with a different loop, than it being a complete different game that looks completely different. Purely just because I'm unfamiliar with anything else Crafton has done. I don't know if they've made anything besides PUBG, so I don't know what they're really capable of outside of PUBG. I'm gonna send you a couple images here. I guess there's been some leaks that are alleging that these are screenshots from the game. I want to get your take on this. Now, because these are leaks, I don't know if I can put these on the screen. And now that we have more features unlocked for the channel, I'm able to link articles. So you can check out the article and check out the images in the actual article itself. There we go. What do you think about these images?
I feel like ABI is better. That looks so weird. Why? Why?
Yeah. Like I don't, and again, obviously
I don't understand this.
These could be fake, but so I guess if we can't show them, I'll break it down. So they're in the first screenshot, it appears to be someone in a building looking at a corner filled with dead alligators. And then in the second image, it's someone like in a forest staring into the middle of a black hole. Like these seem really random. So I'd be curious if these are actually real or if this is
honest. I know you haven't ever played Into the Radius because it's a VR game.
Mm.
But in the second one, it kind of looks like a repulsor anomaly from that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of getting like the vibe that it's gonna be like a Stalker Anomaly styles.
Okay.
So I don't know, but maybe that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
All right. Um, yeah, there's nothing that really strikes me from these screenshots. And again, I probably should have fronted this at the beginning. This has been a like a known thing since like the beginning of the year. I just completely missed this. I saw articles going back as early as like February talking about this. Um,
And sorry to interrupt you again. I'm not very much a fan of like the futuristic HUD they're going for.
yeah, it kind of has more of a like advanced heads-up display kind of vibe thing going. Almost similar to some of the
Mm-hmm.
weapons in like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare that had like the ammo count on them. This has HUD like adjacent to the left side of the pistol with the ammo count. You can see the ammo visually. Um, yeah, not too sure how I feel about that. Obviously, this is still a game in development. It's called the working name, I guess, that was leaked as Black Budget, is its code name. Um,
Oh, it's definitely on a fucking budget, all right.
um, it's funny you bring that up. If we transition into a game that seemingly has a blank check for a budget, GTA 6 was just delayed again. What are your thoughts about getting another delay?
I'm killing myself. But no, I'm a PC guy. I don't really have like a console to play it on, so I'm not exactly worried about it. But it does suck that I'm not gonna be able to watch the Rad Brad
Hmm.
play it as soon as I thought I'd be able to.
Yeah. I've seen some people getting upset about the delay and everything, and to me, them wanting to put more work into it can only be a good thing. I appreciate that they're not trying to put out the game half baked.
I
Um,
mean, regardless, it's gonna be the most bought game of the decade,
easily,
guaranteed.
easily. This game is probably gonna. Well, I was gonna put a number out there, but I don't know how much. It's like a lot of copies for gaming, so I'm not even gonna embarrass myself. But um, this will be probably the biggest game of all time. Um, I've seen some people upset about it. Obviously, they came out and put out a statement so they're trying to avoid a cyberpunk situation, which I can respect. I did see a fucking cyberpunk fanboy reply somewhere and be like, "Oh, like what? Why are they like dogging cyberpunk? It's actually a really good game." And I'm like, "Brother, do you not remember what cyberpunk was like when it came out? Like, it wasn't that long ago. People were like, "Oh, this is like the biggest fucking uh, oh my god, words. This is the biggest flop, you know." I don't know if they use the word flop, but they're like this is a bad, like the worst a game has ever been released. Um, but I think it can only be a good thing. I'm fine with them putting more work into it. Ultimately, it's
Yeah.
probably going to get delayed again, probably. But I mean, as long as the game is good, man. As long as the game's good, it's just a matter of them making it worth our wait.
Like I'm really hoping it's gonna surpass 5. Like, don't get me wrong. 5 was fantastic. 5 was really great. But I have recently been playing through a 4 again, and 4 just feels so much better than what 5 did, bro. There's stuff in 4 that like they didn't implement into 5. Like, I was fucking strolling around. I watched a cop hold up some random dude and mug him, bro. I don't know if he actually fucking mugged him, but I watched that fucking cop hold the dude at gunpoint, bro. You don't see that on fucking in GTA 5. I seen a dude walk around with a fucking pan on his head, bro. You don't see that in 5.
The amount of different features of the game that I've heard them oh my god, the amount of different features in this game that I've heard about them working on, kind of, has been getting me excited. But I'm also like, this might be a lot to manage. Like I'm hearing like they're gonna have a hunting system similar to Hunter Call of the Wild. Like it's gonna be so fleshed out that like hunting is like its own thing. I've been hearing a lot of different crazy things said about the game, but to me, nothing is possible, nothing is impossible when Rockstar is working on it. So I will be excited to see what it's going to be like when it finally comes up. But obviously, we are going to have to wait until late next year in November.
And then we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer because we're PC bros. They're not releasing that shit on PC for like another 2 years afterwards.
That is true. Dave,
what's good, big fella?
I know you have a very close personal connection with Nikita. Where is your head at with Escape from Tarkov 1.0?
I feel like 1.0 is just going to be the same shit we have dealt with for the past 3 years. Because that is how long I have been playing it. I know you probably started maybe about like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as long as I've known Tarkov existed, which was from like, I don't know, what 2021, 2022. Up until now, I've seen a lot of changes. You have seen some from Big Bo showing you like his edits for the dude we were watching. Seeing the game just gradually just go downhill kind of sucks. It used to be really fun. Don't get me wrong. Everything used to be fucking broken as shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of the fun of it. You used to have like fucking insta throw nades. The M4 was absolutely broken with the RPKO sight or whatever the fuck it was. That shit was broken. That shit was a laser beam, bro. And just now you have Nikita just adding random stuff and not fixing decades worth of like bugs and stuff that was in the original files that they still haven't patched. I feel like 1.0 isn't gonna fix any of the issues we have seen, but I can always be proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when someone is as ambitious as Nikita is, I would never be surprised if by some miracle they actually saw out the full vision they had for something and achieved all the things that they set out to do. But I don't think he set them up for success with 1.0, because I don't think they should have ever had a hardcore wipe. I think the hardcore wipe really pushed a lot of people away at a really bad time, where like we went from the hardcore wipe to now we have arc raiders, which is more, I think, marketed to new extraction shooter players.
New and casual is what I would kind of market it towards.
So you go from people that have been burned on the super hardcore experience, where Nikita is like, I want you to work a second 9-to-5 job if you're gonna play my fucking game. And certain people are just like, dude, I've been punished by Tarkov for so long, I can't do it anymore. And I completely respect that. Tarkov at times can be way too much to its, detriment. And I think the hardcore wipe killed any hype that there would have been for 1.0. I think if they just had a regular wipe with some cool events, I think people would have been pretty excited looking forward to 1.0. But I think now there's all these questions about what is it going to be like? Is the hardcore thing really going to be what Nikita wants the game to be? So is he going to shoehorn it in and just expect people to deal with it? Because I think in today's market, I don't think people will deal with it. I think if they don't like it, they're not going to play it. And Arc Raiders is a good enough experience that, I could see some people going over there. I could also just end up seeing a lot of these guys that are Tarkov players going to like DayZ or Armory Forger or insert other um, games similar to the genre Hunt Showdown.
Squad
Yeah,
or
Squad.
something.
Um, so it's gonna be interesting, man. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Nikita, fulfills his promise with how ambitious he is, but there is a part of me that believes he's also probably a little bit over ambitious and may not necessarily deliver everything that he promised. So we talked with Waylon a little bit about Call of Duty. Now I know
Yeah.
you're not a Call of Duty guy. I'm obviously the COD fan of the podcast. Um, as a non-COD person, where, from what you know at the moment, where does Black Ops 7 rank for you, if you could rank it amongst like the last, like maybe say up until like, Modern Warfare 2 Part 2, just of the recent games?
Fucking bottom 10.
Bottom?
Bottom fucking 10. I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna live up to the hype, I guess.
Yeah, I am fully prepared every year for the Call of Duty game to be bad. Um, what keeps me being a fanboy of Call of Duty is just the gameplay loop. The game just feels good. The guns are always, amazing to shoot. I just love, like I said, I just love the loop of Call of Duty. I like, grinding for the camos and doing those things. It is probably just an addiction at this point, that I need to try to kick. But I do acknowledge that these last, God, probably 4 games have been
Not
bad.
not to cut you off, right? But I feel like if H2M didn't get that cease and
Yes,
desist,
dude.
I truly feel like that's the only COD people would ever play, like ever again.
Yeah, the Call of Duty's been fucking up. I think if you're not going to remaster these games or at least make these games safe to play, because the old CODs aren't safe to play. With all the ratting and
Especially
different
on
things going
PC.
on. Yeah. Um, I think if you aren't going to give the fans what they want, you should give them the ability to give it to themselves. Like allow these dev teams to come in and remaster these games and give, fans a product, or bro, buy the development team, bring them on and release it as an official thing. I think there's a lot of people that would pay $29.99 for a full Modern Warfare 2 remaster.
And it really sucks because you have people over here like modding like BO4, BO3, all those games, right?
Yeah.
But the one time that like people aren't making money from the mod pack they're making, and you hit them with the fucking cease and desist, that's very shitty on your end. Like they
Yeah.
weren't making any money. That was requiring you to buy the base version of MWR, whatever the fuck it is, Modern Warfare Remastered. They weren't making a cent off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I might pick up MWR and fucking pirate that shit. Cut that out. I might fucking do it.
Yeah. I know, oh god. I think I'm starting to lose my voice. I know there's some small Call of Duty creators that are still playing like what H2M was. I think the dev team like leaked the files after the cease and desist and just put it out there for everyone anyway. I don't necessarily trust getting files from someone over Discord. So I haven't
Nope.
I haven't tried to get into it. And I probably wouldn't even be able to be convinced into doing it just out of, me not wanting to destroy my machine. But yeah, I think there's definitely an appetite there for the older games. And why not, invest into something that could just exist? Like if people don't want to play your new game, keep them in the Call of Duty sphere by giving them access to play an older game and, make them buy it. I'm not even saying give it to them for free. Make them buy it, make them invest monetarily into it. So at the end of the day, you're still getting something out of them. I wouldn't necessarily say do what you try to do with Modern War or Infinite Warfare and try to lock it behind the purchase of the new game. I would say just give it to them as a separate experience, especially like, bro, imagine in 2025 we got the fucking Black Ops 2 remaster, dude. 13 years later, that shit would have been popping off, dude.
I truly feel like the next game that the H2 devs should try to fucking do, but kind of like keep it on the fucking down low for a while until like they're basically finished, is do a fucking BO2 remaster.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Maybe like a BO2 remaster and like the I don't know, like a good engine, maybe like the Cold War engine or something.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe even do like a fucking BO2 remaster in the MWR engine, like they were doing for H2M, to just say fuck it,
Yeah, I will say this: you will never not hear me encourage indie developers to continue to try to keep experiences alive for the gaming community. And if you ever do hear me say that it's a bad thing, then fucking I've lost the plot, dude. Call the FBI because someone fucking took my face off and is wearing it.
Because I'm a big like game preservation guy for like emulation and all that.
Yeah.
Like if you ever hear me being like, oh yeah, bro, like emulation is like not the best fucking thing. A skinwalker has my fucking body, bro.
Oh yeah. If I can cod out on you a little bit, and kind of get into the weeds. I know some of this is going to be stuff you're not necessarily super familiar with, although like you have played Black Ops 6, so maybe to an extent. One of the big changes coming across the game to several maps is the spawns getting updated. Spawns have been an issue going back since probably like fucking Modern Warfare 2 2022. I don't remember Modern Warfare 2019 having any issues. Not to say that it didn't. I just can't. They're not coming to mind if they had issues.
I mean, I don't think you ever played MP, did you? I know you played Warzone, but I don't think you ever played a MP.
Yeah, I didn't play the multiplayer, so I'm not super familiar with it. So if there were issues with the spawns, then I'm just completely out of the loop with it. I would not be the person that knows.
I played 2019. I enjoyed it. It was probably one of my more favorite ones.
Yeah.
I don't really remember there being like too many issues with spawns. Like, yeah, there were spawns on like Shoot House and all that, but that's because it's such a small map. There's always going to be some fuck ass spawns going on. But other than Shoot House, I don't really remember just having horrible spawns.
Yeah.
Or like even having like issues with spawns. I never like spawned into like somebody's irons.
They have updated the movement a little bit to be a little bit more smooth. They've slowed down some of the diving, sliding, I believe. They have increased XP rates, which I think is going to be good. I know obviously Battlefield 6 raised theirs a little while ago in an update.
Is it gonna be like World War II where it was just like constant like double XP or no?
No, this is just their increasing the base rate. I think the World War II situation was once the new game came out, the devs just flipped the switch on and never turned it off. Just so the community could have fun and level up and unlock a bunch of shit.
I wish they would do that for every like COD whenever the new one comes out.
Yeah. I also wish they would just give us a double XP weekend and the opening weekend in general. These fucks, they're hoarding all the goddamn XP behind the fucking season 1 launch weekend, you bastards. Um, but I hate to cut this short. Really, I did want to kind of get into the nitty gritty a little bit. But
Oh yeah, no, bro, you're fucking cooked. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit cooked. Dave has to go to school tomorrow. I have to edit these 2 shows tomorrow as well, so that way I can get gameplay and some videos on my personal channel on the 14th with the release of Call of Duty. So if you're at all wanting a deeper breakdown, assuming my voice isn't completely gone by then, you can check it out on my channel, but we are going to cut this episode off right there. Apologies for the format being a little bit different, not really having too many quotes from articles or anything like that. Like I said, this is all kind of been rushed this week. We wanted to make sure we got this out, because if we didn't do it tonight, we were probably not going to have one for another week. So we just wanted to get something out to you guys, giving our thoughts on some things. To anyone excited about any of these games coming out that we've discussed, anyone that has anything they'd like to say about our takes, their opinions on anything we talked about it, please do leave a comment down in the comment section. If you're someone that commented on our Arc Raiders video previous, you see that we do our best to go through and communicate with you guys and give you honest responses. We're not just going to try to lick your guys' asses to get you to comment down there. We're going to actually try to have a conversation with you guys. And, you know, once again, thank you to everyone for the feedback on that Arc Raiders video. We're going to be trying to make some changes to address some of those things in the future. But yeah, with that being said, check out our main podcast if you missed it. Obviously, this is going to be going out on Monday. It's being recorded on the 12th currently. Definitely check it out. It was a great time having Waylon on. We definitely want to have him on again. But with that being said, we are going to call it an episode. This has been Patch Notes episode 2.